campus?
Auckland.
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 Oh.
Excellent. So welcome. Nice to have you here with us. So just, I will give you your 5 and your 2. Okay?
Yes. Kia ora. And I say good morning, everybody. My name is Olisa, as she said, and I'm co-presenting with Mr. Yeah. Topic of our presentation: impact of COVID-19 on learning experiences of tertiary students. How did we get here? What motivated us to say we want to write something on this? When COVID started, we were pushed to just go online. Being an international campus, there's nothing you can do. You can't tell them to go home for holiday or whatsoever, because they pay for it and they need to enjoy what they pay for. So without just knowing it, the school just organized a sort of impromptu training on how we can use Teams. Just for a week. Unfortunately, when we were doing it, we involved some students. So we went back home with that mentality that we should be able to deliver it. Without thinking of what challenges we are going to face. We went to, we enlisted the students on team, hopefully that we should be able to deliver very well. We were so lucky because, let me say, most of us were experts and we know what we need to do. But you knowing what we need to do, you need to do, as a teacher doesn't really, go the same way as the student knowing what they need to learn online. But we get them engaged and we're successful. But about 3 months or 5 months down the line, I have to meet with my colleagues and say, now, what exactly we need to find out from students, what is their feeling in terms of, because originally they came with the traditional way of teaching face-to-face, and you are pushing them to online. Some of them doesn't even know how to use the technology and everything. So I said, let's go further and read and see if there can be a short way to read within New Zealand perspective. But we couldn't find any literature that relates to that. And I said, okay, instead of just looking at it on the face, I think it's better for us to research into it. So that was the gap we realized, and we picked the topic. Plus our experience, we want to go further to see maybe what we deliver goes well, or maybe the students are still having problems. That was the reason why we came about the topic title. So, what do we aim to achieve before we derive at our question, research question? We were thinking to find out what has been the impact of COVID-19 on this series of students that we teach. We want to know what is their perception about this online, teaching online, right? And we want to know, find out, even though we struggle to give them what they need in terms of technical perspective and learning perspective, we still want to find out if they still need more help as time goes on. Because we never knew when COVID is going to stop. Are we going to, is it going to be a continuous stop? So with that, we cover these 3 research questions. We asked, looking at it, what are the impact of COVID-19 on student traditional learning, not just learning. We're looking at traditional learning face-to-face. How does COVID-19 impact it? Because before COVID came, we have a plan of how to teach them. Of course, the same plan has to go on, but in another perspective on delivery. So we wanted to find out how the students perceive online learning during COVID. Then we want to find out during COVID learning, what is the assistance they needed. So that was the research question. We started to visit literature to read through and find out if maybe we can gain a knowledge from previous research so as to help us in what we're writing. These are few literature that we review. We look at Dale Board, and the title of his research was First Impression from Education as NU Transition to Online Only Mode of Learning. And the purpose was student experience. We wanted to look at student experience on online learning. But was able to find out, this research was able to find out that unavailable resources and lack of adequate practice in delivering online teaching and coping with the limited time constituted barrier to moving online. That is accurate, because most schools, I know, AU, did not immediately go online. You know? Even AUT, going online immediately was very troublesome for them. But I think we are one of the few campuses in Auckland that jumped online and successfully jumped online, and we landed very well up to now. Now, another literature, Hang et al. This was the first research that was published in China, looking at the causes of COVID-19. This was done by about 50 researchers altogether. But they found that they concluded that COVID-19 actually started in Wuhan. Now, other research that we visited are there. But if you look at UTA was trying to look at online learning success for all students. But he tried to assess the support that online students needed. Despite that, he found out that despite the assistance given to students in Bangladesh, female and male students were still facing challenges even up to now in Bangladesh. These are the few literature. We went as far as World Health Organization, UNESCO, the support they gave. We created a conceptual framework for our research, putting the students in the nucleus. That is, this research focuses mainly on students and looking at how COVID-19 has affected their learning. And we look at it from three perspectives relative to COVID-19. Research method, what do we use? We adopted a quantitative research method. We created survey questionnaire. We sent it to available participants. Of course, we can't start to collect the information data until when we get the ethics approval. And Otago and Unity gave us the approval. And after that, we start to collect the data. We use a convenient sampling for us to assess the student, the participant that will take part in the research. And we had 104 participants. Fortunately, unfortunately, most of the data were collected in Auckland, I think one or two schools from Hamilton. Yeah. We used 5 Likert scale for us to collect data. And the questionnaire were 23, but we split it into 3 sections. And these 3 sections was to accommodate the 3 objectives and the 3 research questions. The demography of what we got in terms of participant demography on the table, as you see, we have 54 males, we have 50 females. In terms of percentage representation between female and male, we have 51.9, 48.1, altogether 104 students. That's the age distribution of the participants. Now, in terms of frequency, 21 to 29, 20 to 29 years, that's to 39, and the frequency is that. If you add it up in terms of percentage, it adds up to 100. Now, let's look at the analysis and findings. We use descriptive statistics to analyze what we collected, and we basically look at the mean and the standard deviation. The question we put together today, the first research question there says, impact of online class during COVID-19 on tertiary student traditional normal learning plan. So we put the question, do they agree? No. And continuity with normal learning plan was challenging during online. It's more or less like a jump. We jump from traditional to online. Was the continuity with the plan that they have, or we have as a teacher and the student have in terms of learning? How do they feel by way of moving from traditional to normal? Did they find it easy? Was it challenging for them? And the mean we found there was 8.57, meaning that almost all of them agree, strongly agree. Now, we put to them, online learning impacted traditional learning plan positively. We wanted to find out again if it is positive. Okay, most of them agree that positive. This is the first one that we have. And if you look at this table, you will see that This is not. Okay, if you look at the table, you will see that mean is arranged in descending order, telling you when you get this, online learning impacted traditional learning negatively. They said 2.84, meaning that the question is negative, but the response tells us that it is not negative to them. Now that's why we have 2.3 there. Right. Now this is the second question. We said start students experience in learning online during COVID. Do you agree? Did they experience, during online? Now we'll put the question. Online learning is fun, like you can see the mean representation there. 315 down there in the same order. Now we have learning practicals and training courses online is challenging. 3.93. Now that's to tell you, if you teach students that mainly carpentry, plumbing, and everything like that, it may be very difficult for them online because they need to practice and do. And you might not be able to engage them very well there. So we have this third question that says, assistance needed by learning. This is where we really have, what we think students should need. We put these questions today. Need online resources hub 4.05, tutorial best way to use online 3.996, and need technological support during online 3. Everything here is just high, telling you that they really need more assistance during online as at the time we conducted this research. Now, these are findings at the end of the day. Look at the first objective here, says to determine the impact of COVID-19 on student traditional learning plan before COVID-19. And we found out that online classes during COVID-19 had a positive impact on students' normal learning plan prior to adopting online. This is not generated by us, we got it from the data we collected from them. Now, this is similar to Oye et al. That found out that online classes during COVID-19 pandemic based on face-to-face learning, content enhanced positive learning. So what we find out here is similar to another research. Now, to determine how students perceive their online learning during COVID-19, we found out that learning in practical and training courses online is challenging, because if I go back to the last one here, it says 3.96 somewhere. 3.96 somewhere. Yeah, it's challenging. Now, the third one was, on the objective was to find out what assistance students needed to improve their online learning. This is where students really exposes or decided to say out what they have in mind. Despite the positive experience, though they said they have positive experience during teaching online, but students are still in need of various academic assistance to enhance their effective learning. And this is similar to what Hassoud and Harris found in 2021, that online learning unexpectedly by students during COVID-19 and attending online classes for the first time requires support for students in their attempt to apply the use of technology in learning. So these are the 3 findings we found out, and this research is going to be published.
2 minutes.
Yeah. This research is already accepted for publication. I got the email yesterday. Basically, we just look at it and see what we need. And ever since then now, we've been aiding our students more and more. Even the teacher needs more aid than the student. This research, as approved by OPIC ethics, is into 2 splits. We have another one that experience of teachers during COVID-19. But now that we are going for what is the name of Tifunga now, we met yesterday, and the research questions is still there now. We have broader reach now, so we can send it to people, because we are limited to Auckland. But South Island, we want to include them in the next research of that. So this is our working sheet. I can't read anything. We look at the percentage relationship. We see have some figures that we got through, or we can't put everything. I normally put this when I present so because people may ask questions, so I can refer to you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, some questions.
Yeah.
Thank you. When you refer to online classes, do you mean synchronous online classes? Is it totally framed? I mean, how's online classes actually frame?
Yeah,
In
online
what
classes,
way?
the way we run it, yeah, it's like we created teams, every perspective of online that we can use to assist the students, and it's mostly synchronous in terms of how we deliver it. Every medium that we think that we can use in terms of delivering to the student, we use that. For example, we can combine forum, which is a module, with that of team, on team we can create a sort of channels, classroom, and for you, so that as you deliver the class, engaging them, you have a face-to-face, even though you're not standing before them, you can monitor them. That's what we do. And particularly, that's the only way, or one of the ways through which you can see that they are being engaged. Otherwise, you're just talking to yourself, right? I had a situation when I was teaching one of my students, and I could see when I was talking to him online, he was breathing very high. And I said, "Where are you?" He said, "My boss is calling me, I'm quickly going to take off my shift." And he's answering, attending to me on phone. I have a student too, I was banging everywhere. He was in construction, on the streets, walking. That is the perspective of online. But if you are not on channel, if you don't give them activities to be within them, you are not delivering online. You are just talking to yourself. Yeah.
So when you conduct your study, you consider a questionnaire to collect the data.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to know is that a standard questionnaire that you have used, or have you extracted those questions from the prior studies that in this area?
We extracted some from prior study, and that was a sort of a reference on the real research. But I can't put everything here. Normally when you do quantitative research, you don't go alone on your own. It is better for you to relate with other research. It makes your job easy. It makes you to understand, are you going right or you are going wrong? Except if you want to develop a theory, you can go on your own. But you can go for years before your theories will be accepted. So we adopted some of the questions there, and we are well referenced.
Any more questions from me?
Question?
No. Thank you very much.
Thank you.